The majority of people arrested in last week's immigration raids were criminals. In 6 counties of Southland, California, of 160 arrested, 150 had committed crimes, including violent assault and child sex offenses. Let's now go to our president on his tough immigration stance.
We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked.
Oops, sorry about that. Let's try this again. Our president on the recent immigration raids.
We will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws.
Dang, my fault. All right, third time's a charm, Mr. President.
On the home front, we have to create borders. We have to let people that can love our country in, and I want to do that. But we cannot let the wrong people in, and I will not allow that to happen during this administration. And people, the citizens of our country, want that, and that's their attitude too.
Wow. Funny how all these chaps sound exactly alike, yet the media pretends otherwise, depicting these recent raids as unique only to President Trump. But they aren't. And they also depict these raids as attacks on all innocent immigrants, which they aren't. 95% were male, mostly criminal, from a dozen countries. These were not 6-year-old girls clutching teddy bears. But it raises this question: what were these people doing before they were arrested? Are these the folks that liberal lawmakers try to protect in sanctuary cities? If not, why get so upset when they're caught? What BS. When Clinton or Obama did it, oh, it's fine, but under Trump, it's evil. But it's not. Security for all is a moral virtue that requires sensible measures. It's no injustice to target fugitive criminals. It's officials simply doing their jobs. If the left doesn't want ICE doing this, then what do they want? Are we allowed to remove anyone? Or should we just invite the world to empty their jails into the U.S.? If the left had their way, the whole country would be a halfway house for the planet's felons. And orange would be the new red, white, and blue. So, Dana, 15 out of 16 captured, had records of some kind. It's not perfect, but you know what you have? You know, when you're making an omelet, what do they say?
You got to break eggs?
Yeah, you got to break some eggs.
Got to break some eggs, okay. I'm not sure. But yes, these raids aren't new, as you pointed out.
They're not new.
But when I remember when President Bush had ICE do operations, the press was tough.
Yeah.
And especially I remember one, it was sort of a meatpacking plant situation in the Midwest, and then you had stories about children who weren't picked up from daycare,
right,
and they were left. And this actually seemed to be very targeted at the criminals, but the Republicans seem to always get a tougher stance in the press than liberals. So when President Obama did it, it was like, wow, he is the law and order president. Isn't he amazing? And if it's a Republican, then they're evil.
Yeah. Like, Eric, I think the real scam here is portraying it as unique. That's the thing that drives me crazy. We all have selective amnesia. We don't realize it happened before.
You know why? Because we don't see it on the news.
Yeah.
And if you look back, and I think it was a January 2016 Politico article talking about the rounding up of families, not just criminal aliens. Families were being rounded up under President Obama, but you never saw that. You saw it in Politico, but you didn't see it on mainstream media. And of course, if
and you didn't see elected officials on the left complaining about it.
Yeah,
like you do now.
There's no outrage. There's no outrage against President Obama's deportation policies. So you certainly don't hear that, and you didn't hear it. That's why you don't hear it. You read it, but you didn't hear it. But now, God forbid, Donald Trump has a family deported. Oh, my. It'll be like wall-to-wall on every single network across, including the 6 p.m. news on all the broadcast networks.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Kimberly, if they can find that one. I mean, there are people out there that are weeping. They go to that, but they don't show the crimes committed or the injustices portrayed or performed by the illegal immigrants.
No, absolutely not. And look, it's just that's not what they want here. They have like these emotional liberal blinders on, and if President Obama says it, it's like raining from heaven, glorious words of wisdom. But if President Trump says it, oh, it must be mean-spirited, it must be highly illegal, it must be something that we protest and put our hats on about. But if you look at this here in particular, it's 75% had prior felony convictions by Who's trying to give a free pass to the criminals? Do you want them to reoffend, God forbid, to someone you know, a family member, or someone you don't even know? No, they need to go. And I dealt with these people over and over again. Instead of having a nice case file like this, it was like this. And it was from people that refused to give you their true name, that were being protected by sanctuary cities, that were criminal recidivists, that couldn't wait to reoffend again. These people are supposed to be deported permanently. Stay out. We do not have an obligation to make public safety in this country less safe for them.
I know we want to bring Bob in, but so here it is. I found the article. It's January 4th, 2016. Here's the headline. Obama administration kicks off family deportation raids. Now, did you know about that?
No.
Did we hear about that anywhere? No.
Where was this polling?
Well, if you listen around this table, when I was here before, you used to hear that there was no deportation under Barack Obama. He was the weakest deport guy. You were one of the leaders of that then. In fact, the largest number of criminals arrested in 1 week period, 2,000, were Obama administration. This was an Obama administration initiative. Trump had nothing to do with this. So Obama had gotten rid of more criminals in a shorter period of time than anybody else has. And yet you said, oh, he's going to...
Can I just clarify what I did say, and I'll stand by this now. President Obama's deportation numbers were different from every other president's deportation numbers. If someone's caught at the border under President Obama only and told us to go back, don't even, we caught you, you're on American land, go back and go home, that was counted as a deportation only under Obama, under no one else.
No, that's not right.
Well, it is right, but okay.
But all I'm saying is that you finally own up to the fact this guy was a deportation president.
He stopped people at the border.
Do you have a problem with it? I want to know your opinion on it. Were you happy with what President Obama was doing and equally
sure.
immeasurably happy with President Trump?
I think it's fine. I think they ought to get everybody who's a criminal, and even if you have to go into sanctuary cities and get them out. The problem is there's so many of them. Obama got 2,000 in 1 week. And these were targeted, by the way, not at sanctuary cities. These were inside the...
But that also shows you the magnitude of the problem.
Correct.
If there's 2,000 in 1 week, you got more work to do.
I've never argued we don't have a problem with that.
I guess that's 100,000 a year. That's nothing. That's nothing. Obama deported 400,000 a year. A year. 2,000 is no big deal. I mean, here's the problem. When you come across and you're on U.S. territory, what you're supposed to do is be caught and processed. Obama didn't do that. He just sent them back on the way, and then they would come back again, and he sent them on the way, come back again. And every time he sent them back, you call that as a deportation.
What would you do? You put them through process, and then you convict them in a court of law. Where do you put them then?
Then you send them back, and they can't come back. And under an immigration reform law bill turned to law, what you could do is say you come back again, a certain amount of times, you go to jail.
Well, they're going to come back. If they get back after they're thrown out and they come back,
they
they're
were
going to come
back in. That was the difference.
There's no reason for them not to.
That was the difference under President Obama.
Everybody's agreeing that Obama did this, yet the media is acting like it's never happened before. To me, that's the crime, is that the media is acting the previous week that somehow President Trump just came in and just rounded up people. Never been done before. It's never been done. But you even agree. Obama did this all the time.
Except they were allowed back in. So it was sort of
like... allowed back in. They snuck back in.
All right.
But, hey, you know, remember, who was president when that kid, that terrible picture of that poor kid in the closet?
Bill Clinton.
Was it Bill Clinton?
Elian Gonzalez.
Yeah, Elian Gonzalez. Now that's that got a lot of coverage.
Where are you going with that?
I was just
Are you saying we should chase children with guns, Bob?
Yeah.
Boy, you're getting really hardcore immigration. Speaking of which, Steve, we have a sound on tape of Stephen Moore. Miller, is that his name? Stephen Miller, that's correct. I love Jet Airliner, one of my favorite songs. Here he is.
Joe Miller.
That's Steve Miller.
Oh, it's Steve Miller, man.
Yeah, Fly Like an Eagle.
Yeah.
All right, great.
I'm a joker, smoker, big time.
Because of President Trump's actions, innocent people are now being kept out of harm's way. And we as a country spend too little time thinking about the effects of open borders on vulnerable communities, including our migrant communities, lawful migrants, trying to get their start in this country, who have to deal with the scourge of cartel violence, the scourge of gangs, the scourge of violent criminals that we're now removing from this country.
All right. Bob, the smartest man in D.C. right there. Sorry, not Chris Wallace. He's second smartest.
Yeah. That guy made more mistakes yesterday on Morning News. If they ever put him back on the Sunday shows again, they're crazy. First of all,
the president tweeted, "Congratulations, Stephen Miller. You did a fantastic job representing me on all the Sunday shows." He's got to do that all the time now. If people are screwing up so bad, they ought to have a mimeograph copy of it. But
how high tech?
Not least of which is his national security badge. Although I know we're going to get to that rather line. Anyway. Where were we with that thing?
Stephen Miller, you
Yeah, Miller said under President Trump's initiative, look at all these people who are safe. Trump had nothing to do with it.
All right.
And he refused to answer questions about Flynn. He refused to do anything that was accurate.
He said actually that he thought Flynn was doing a good job.
These guys have made an art form out of lying. They're liars.
Oh my God,
Are they
Bob,
liars, Dana?
Did you see all the shows that he was on? Because he actually said that he thought that Flynn was doing a very good job, but it wasn't his place to give the opinion of either the President of the United States or the Chief of Staff. I have all the transcripts. And so do you somewhere in your email.
Which is why you could tell when somebody says that, I can't get in the mind of the President, that's the beginning of the end. This guy's gone.
What do you mean? He just,
Wait,
he just
are we
did
doing
the
this in
shows
the
this
E-block?
weekend.
No, he means
call it
Flynn.
deep
Oh, yeah.
This is a very deep tease.
Well, okay.
Oh, that sounds good.